Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to have a quick look at a beautiful watch from Marathon. This comes from a Canadian watchmaker specialized in making military watches. And what we have here is a 36mm automatic dive watch on a beautiful, I would say, oyster style bracelet by Marathon. On the clasp we can see a detail of the American Marine Corps seal. Absolutely beautiful. And here we can see the Marathon clasp. We still have some plastic here, brand new, drilled lugs, and as you can see, a beautiful white dial. So the purpose of this video is just to give you a very quick look at this spectacular watch. The watch originally comes on this rubber strap. I think this is authentic rubber. It has a vanilla scent. And what we can see here is a Marathon buckle. And there is a few holes that are perforated here, but not fully, which means you can see some holes, but they're not through. So if you measure your wrist, you got to punch in these holes through these holes, if that makes sense. So here we can see the owner of this watch perforated these two to fit his wrists. And here in the back of the watch strap, we can see this texture. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Two keepers, both are adjustable. So absolutely very nice rubber strap here. But the owner of this watch decided to go with a metal bracelet. And we just sized up this bracelet. It was a bit of an effort because it has these Phillips screw ends on both sides. So basically you need a tool on both sides to be able to unscrew them. Very nice thick screws were inside. Now just for your perspective, let me compare the Marathon. This is the MSAR, which stands for Medium Search and Rescue. They also come in bigger versions, the G and J version, standing for Grand and for Jumbo. So this is a 36mm. So with these Marathon diver, you can choose between different sizes. And you can also opt with a quartz movement or a mechanical movement. Inside this watch, we can see a Satie 200 movement. And here we have the Seiko SKX 013, which comes at a very different price point. But just to give you an overview of the size, let's see how 36 and 38 look like in practice. So the Seiko on the right is 38 and the Marathon is a 36. I think the Marathon is longer lug to lug. I will give you some dimensions in a minute, but just wanted to give you a bit of an impression of what a 36 and 38 look like. And I must say, I love 36, but when I saw it, I didn't find it like absolutely small. Like it's still a very present watch. So I think this will look amazing on many wrists, especially if you have a smaller size wrist, or when you just want to wear something like the 38mm 013 that is just not so huge, because a lot of watches these days, they are over 40mm dive watches, and you know, absolutely nothing bad about it. But if you just want a more vintage size watch in terms of the diameter, I think with 36, I think it's absolutely beautiful. And also what makes this watch kind of look bigger than it actually is, I think comes from that very impressive case that has quite some thickness. You can tell that the marathon case is quite a bit thicker compared to the 013, and also that bezel is quite a bit thicker. So when it comes to a tool watch, I think although the marathon is smaller in terms of diameter, in terms of thickness, it looks a bit thicker and more professional. So this case, due to that thickness, it looks like it can cope with much more wear and tear. This watch is rated 300 meters water resist. The Seiko is 200 meters. And that bezel, which I absolutely love about this 013, and it is easy to grip. I must say, the marathon, I think even if you're wearing gloves, for example, if you're in the military profession or police forces, or when you're diving, even with gloves, this should still be easy to operate, to turn. Definitely if you're just using, if you're not wearing gloves, it's so easy to grip. But I think even with rubber gloves or leather gloves, it should be easy to operate, without a doubt. And the Seiko, definitely without gloves, I can operate it easily, but with gloves it might get a little bit more difficult. I haven't tested that, but I definitely see the purpose of such a legible watch. Now looking at the dial, we can see on the outer track, we can see the hours mentioned in two different ways. We can read 1 to 12, but in that inner dial we can see the military time. So we can read 13 to 24. We have applied hour markers, and these hour markers, they are filled with a tritium lume, which is very, very strong and very legible in the dark. References to that tritium can be found here at the 9 o'clock position and the 3 o'clock position. We can see that H3, and we can see that, also almost like a warning sign, you can say, at the 3 o'clock position, indicating that tritium. At the 4 o'clock, we have a date wheel with a white background. And I like the way that they went for that date wheel at that position, because that way the dial is not interfered that much. It looks quite symmetrical this way, instead of, for example, cutting off a piece of the hour marker that we went for with the SKX. You can see that the hour marker is replaced completely by a date wheel, which is not bad, honestly, because I like this design. But this way, they kept the dial, spotless. It reads Swiss made at the 6 o'clock position. We have nice hands. The minute hand almost reaches all the way to the outer track. We have a bunch of minutes in the outer track, and a red second hand. Very pretty, very legible. One of the best things I like about this watch is that crown. As you can see, again, just like the bezel, it looks so easy to operate and to grip because it's quite big, and with this milling, it's easy to grip. It's definitely much better than, for example, the crown that I've seen on the Orient Ray. That is just, in my opinion, a bit too small and sometimes difficult to operate. This is so easy to grip because of that structure that you can see right here. Drilled lugs makes it super easy to throw it on rubber or even on a NATO, I guess. Nice bracelet. We measured 18 at the lugs. We measured 16 at the buckle. So there is a bit of taper from 18 to 16. A few micro adjustments on this bracelet. This bracelet can be had for around $200. Solid links and solid end links. Also, this bracelet, it has some pressed metal here. And right here we have a dive extension. So that way, as you can see, you can unfold it and wear it over a dive suit. And that's press it back in. That's the dive extension, micro adjustments, pressed metal. And let's have a closer look at the case back. It reads 316 stainless steel, 300 meters water resist, Swiss made, 26 euro automatic movement, ISO certified, and even it has a serial number. As you can see, screw down case back. We have a sapphire crystal and 120 click unidirectional bezel. Very easy to operate. Yeah. So that's it. Let me throw it on the wrist real quick. So there we have it on the wrist. I have a 6.3 inches wrist. So I would say that's a small to medium sized wrist. And as you can see, this wears absolutely beautiful. Let's compare it here with the Alpinist. The Alpinist, I think, is a 39. So definitely you can see this is this wears smaller in terms of diameter. But then again, with the thickness, it is you know, you can definitely tell that you're wearing a beautiful dive watch. So the beauty of this tritium lume is the fact that you don't need to charge it in the sunlight, which you need to do with this Seiko lume, and it will keep glowing like constantly in the evening. So it's a very impressive lume. And I think there's also a lume here on the bezel at the 12 o'clock position on this triangle. I'm pretty sure about that. And let's have a closer look at the bezel. As you can see, these minutes, they're etched into this, I guess this is an aluminium insert. So that is pretty as well. So let me give you some weight. On this metal bracelet, I get 136 grams. And that is with 3 links removed. By comparison, this 013 is 130 grams on the original Jubilee bracelet, also with a few links removed. So definitely the Marathon is a bit heavier. And let's give you some approximate dimensions. And as you can see, I get about 14 millimeters in thickness, which is quite a bit thicker, I believe, than the 013. Then let's proceed with the diameter. It's a bit difficult to measure the diameter of the watch, but I think I get about 36. And as you can see, there is a bit of a difference between the case and the bezel. As you can see, the bezel sticks out a little bit, making it yeah, so easy to grip. But bezel and diameter 36, and again the 013 is about 38. Yeah, 38. Now also noteworthy is that lug to lug distance. So that is the distance from here to here. Yeah, lug to lug, I get about 44 millimeters. Let's compare it to the 013. It's funny, I also get about 44-ish. So there we have it. The Marathon MSAR. This one comes in white and it looks absolutely beautiful. This watch also comes with a black dial. Personally, I think that's the one I would go for. But definitely this white one really impressed me a whole lot. And I think it's very unique as well. yeah, this watch is just so pretty. Finally, let me give you a look at the crown action. As you can see, screw down. Movement allows for hand winding. It gives a very nice sound. So that is the crown in the neutral position. When we bring it to the second position, the second hand stops moving, and when we press it down in, start running again. That is the hacking and the hand winding. Let me screw it back in, which is so easy to do because the grip is so good. And then, as you can see, we have some crown guards protecting half of the length of the crown. And also notice that the hour marker at the 12 o'clock position is a bit different in terms of color. The other hour markers are greenish. This one is more yellow, orange-ish. It's warmer. And I guess that's not a technical failure, but I think it's meant to indicate the 12 o'clock position easily. That is the video. This is the marathon watch. Absolutely think it's a beauty.